Hello, Seiiti Arata. The motivational industry is being quite successful. Motivational posts on Instagram, inspiring videos on YouTube, stories about personal growth from books and movies and TV shows, all being shared millions of times over the social networks. But please allow me to ask you an honest question. Has this motivational stuff really helped you to achieve your big goals? I am not talking about being cheered up when you come across one of those motivational posts. What I'm talking about is getting actual results. Have you ever been able to achieve any of your biggest goals by motivation only? There is a good chance you haven't, and that has an explanation. It is that motivation is not sustainable. When you have long-term goals, you need more than simple motivation. You need discipline, and discipline is the foundation to any great goal. While motivation is a spark, discipline is like a log that burns for days. Motivational materials are like a spark to your mood. Sometimes you're feeling down, you don't feel like doing anything, you could be even sad. Then you watch a motivational video and you get lightened up and you start doing something. The problem is that this encouragement goes away quickly. Then you're back to the same old pattern and you're in need for a new motivational thing to get cheered up again. And this way, from spark to spark, you're living in a boredom and encouragement cycle. One step forward, one step back, another step forward. And you're constantly depending on an external source to begin doing something. Achieving great goals in this way is almost impossible. If you want to change your body or learn another language or start your own business, you're going to need a more steady and lasting fuel than motivation. And that fuel is called discipline. Discipline is the ability to master oneself. Disciplined people achieve better results than motivated people. Abraham Lincoln used to say that discipline is the ability to master oneself. It is a way of showing respect to your own dreams. Discipline is the ability to say no to yourself. Think about any goal that you have already set your mind into achieving, but that you were never able actually to achieve. Lose weight or learn to play an instrument or quit smoking. It doesn't matter. It is more than likely that the reason for your failure was the lack of discipline, the inability to say no to yourself. For example, that moment when you were motivated, you said you wanted to lose some weight. But after seeing what they were offering you for dessert, well, you were unable to say no to your desire to eat the pastry. Then you saw an inspiring before and after photo of someone who was able to lose weight, and this motivational photo helped you to get your motivation back. The next day, without that motivational spark, then you were unable to say no to laziness, and then you ordered pizza or a soft drink for lunch. What we're discussing here is very simple. It is easy to understand. But even if we do understand it, why can't we be disciplined? Why are we unable to stay on track until we finally achieve our final goal? The answer is that we usually confuse discipline with suffering. Discipline frees us from suffering. A disciplined person doesn't need to be suffering constantly to figure out what to do. Discipline is usually seen as suffering because we think that the journey to achieve a great goal is always very hard. Imagine having to stay away from eating pastries or pizzas in order to achieve your weight loss goal. Having to be disciplined seems like a misery, but isn't it a bigger misery having to decide at every meal if you will or will not be able to say no to yourself? Isn't it a bigger misery suffering, seeing your body to take a shape you don't want it to be? Isn't it a bigger misery losing your health? Instead of seeing discipline as a misery, you can think about discipline as being truly free. Let's go back to our example. Let's say you only decided you wanted to lose weight and you added this goal to your life plan and followed the planning with discipline. You may even have slipped here and there, but haven't had to decide at every single meal if you would be going to be following the plan. In this example, discipline makes you free. You free yourself from having to make repetitive decisions. Suffering because you don't know if you're going to be able to say no to yourself. Discipline may seem easy at the beginning when your comfort zone is starting to expand to help you achieve your new behavior pattern. Then, discipline becomes the freedom for you to experience results that were just dreams that described an abstract life plan. To have discipline every day, you need reason, environment, planning, and resilience. Now that we understand that discipline is more effective than motivation when trying to achieve long-term goals, you need to know how to have discipline every day. And the first step is to understand why. Why do you want to achieve that specific goal? Most of us go straight to what. And for some reason, we tell ourselves that we want a nice body, for example. We want to read more books. We want to learn another language. But have you ever asked yourself, why do you want to do all that? When you are clear about the reason behind your decision, it becomes much easier to maintain discipline in the long term. The second step is to have an environment that encourages discipline. Physical environment greatly influences the way you behave, and it can get in the way or even help you stay disciplined. For example, if you want to lose weight, what does an encouraging environment mean? It means you shouldn't have any sweets or pastries at home. If you want to quit smoking, an encouraging environment is where there are no other smokers around. If you want to learn a new language, an encouraging environment is where you have the chance to talk with native speakers. Now, the third step to become a more disciplined person is to have a clear plan. Clear plan. And this plan should consider where you are in the present moment and what your final destination is. And the fourth and final step to be disciplined is to have resilience. You have to accept that no matter how disciplined you are going to have mistakes. You're not looking for perfection, you're looking for the ability to move forward, even when you make those mistakes, without depending on motivational stuff. It is not easy to have discipline every single day. In fact, developing discipline is one of the biggest challenges you're going to face. Your brain will always prefer to save energy and stay in the comfort zone. That is why we usually prefer motivational stuff that is easy to watch or read. But this short-term motivational stuff isn't offering you what you need. What you need is discipline. You need to make a single choice and act accordingly, accepting your mistakes and learning from them. Do this day by day, week by week, and you soon see that your very distant dreams will come true. And if you want to create a full plan to make those dreams come true without depending on motivation, I invite you to watch a special class for the Planning Your Life course by visiting arata.se/planning your life. Come here right now.